Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is part two. We got excited on the first part. Now we're on part two here. Keep in mind, this is Tim and 𝐊𝐞𝐲. This is Kevin Boulton. He is with the company Warrior Mindset. The last video that we just ended was trying to understand trying to learn from a man perspective, how we can control, how do we have the patience when we have two masculine energies together and your spouse or partner or female is coming at you. How do we stop ourselves from maintaining our masculinity?
Well, I want you to think about this. Just think about the name that you just spoke, the warrior mindset. If you imagine a warrior, Genghis Khan or whoever, do you imagine him being emotional about some bullshit that happens? Or is he just going to look at it, analyze it, and be calm and go, all right, here's what we're going to do.
So emotions, you feel, are more of a feminine part of it.
We all have them.
Mm-hmm.
We all have them.
Correct.
But how do we manage them?
That's
your girl's all up in your ass, and she's and you're like, oh my God, you want to freaking tell this wench how it is. But if you do that, then you're in your feminine state. Where if you can just manage that beast and go, okay, anything else? You can manage that beast of your mind, and you can go, she is very upset about this.
When you say manage a beast of your mind, your thoughts and your feelings?
Well, really what comes out of your mouth. It doesn't matter. You can be mad as hell. But you don't want to open your mouth up and be all sissified and go, you ugly, rotten, fat girl.
But yeah, saying mean stuff. But now,
right. But you don't want to do that. You just want to keep your mouth shut and let her dump. Because this is what they do. And the thing is a lot of times that when women they're testing us. They're testing
all
us.
The time.
Yeah, and it will never stop. Just don't be assured of that.
Did you hear that, man? It won't stop.
It will never stop. Okay? Because a good woman tests her man to see if he is the divine masculine.
For how many years?
Forever.
Well, I mean, she couldn't figure it out after the first year?
No. Because the thing is you're going to grow and you're going to change.
Yeah.
And she's going to test you in new ways. I love
True.
watching old men in relationships. You know, women are like, he's like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. He knows better. He knows that he's not going to win by arguing with her. Old men figure this out. They're like, that doesn't work. All you got to do is be observant and watch the world around you, and you can see old men don't do that. They're old warriors. They're like, yeah.
And these are the men that have been with their wives 40, 50, 60 years.
Yeah. They don't argue with their wives. You watch them. They don't do it. Now, she knows his terms. She knows what she can get by with and what she can't get by with if he's a true old warrior. Because he'll be like, that's enough. And that's all he's got to say. And then she understands. Because they chose to be happy versus right. And the thing is that,
like that.
Our egos always
nice.
want to be right.
Correct.
Okay? Our egos are always dying to be embraced and shown that you're right. And that's just our ego. But if we manage that so that we don't have that involved, then we can make good. Every time men make emotional decisions, think about the emotional decisions that you've made in your life. Every time, I personally have made emotional decisions, 90+%.
I don't like
been
making
wrong.
Yeah, I don't like making emotional decisions.
Oh,
yeah.
man, especially if you're in business and you're making emotional decisions, you're just raw. So the reality is that we don't do well making emotional decisions. Well, when your girl's all upset with you and you're making emotional decisions, well, that's not working well. So the thing is that you have to take that out. You have to take that out of the equation.
The emotions.
The emotions.
The emotions.
Don't be making emotional decisions. She's upset about something, just listen to her. She's probably testing you. And you might want to look at what she's saying. It might be right. It might not be right. That's for you to figure out. But you look at it, she's like, you drink too much. You drink all the time. You drink. You're like, is that true? Just ask yourself, is that true? Do I drink all the time? I don't drink for breakfast. I don't drink for lunch. I do drink quite a bit between 3 and midnight. So yeah, I could see how she might be able to see that. maybe I need to look and see if I've got an addiction issue there. And you look at that and you go, okay, well, I do have an addiction issue there. Every time she upsets me, I go grab the bottle and I pour myself a drink. So,
well, when in that particular situation right there, you're using your alcohol to cover your emotions because you're suppressing your emotions by listening to somebody nag at you and not getting it out. So you're suppressing it, and that's going to cause.
I don't think it's necessarily that you're suppressing it. You're using alcohol to escape that, and the reality is you should embrace that. That's what makes you a warrior. Being able to handle that shit is what makes you a warrior. You know, taking and falling back on some addiction or something like that is not what makes you a warrior.
How many minutes are we into this one?
We are.
5? Okay, we're still good. Okay.
Yeah. So that's not what makes you a warrior. Being able to weather the storm, being able to weather her storms, and when she's all emotional, try this. Try this. Next time your girl's upset and she's bitching and moaning.
All right, listen to this. Men, this is a golden nugget for you.
Just listen to her, let her calm down a little bit, and just walk over there and give her a hug. Just press your body up against her, pull her up close to you, kiss her on the neck, and go, I heard you. Just try that. You would be amazed. My wife is wild for sound. I do that to her, and she just melts in my arms.
So how do you know, because there's a lot of men on this call and women that are in relationships that vary, you know, on time links and you know, if you're going through like a honeymoon phase, if you're in a marriage, if you're dating, whatever it may be, how do you know if a situation is being manipulated versus a...
Great question. Great question. That's a great question. And that really boils down to you have to know who you're with. You know, I've been in numerous relationships before I'm in the relationship I'm in now. And the women were just extremely manipulative. And they were always trying to play me for whatever they could get out of me. You know, and that's a shitty relationship to be.
So how do you determine at that point?
But if that's your terms of a man, as a man, and that's what you want, then that's what you got.
Well, what I guess so for the men out there, how do they know if you know, while they're being quiet and listening to the woman nag, you know, the female nag, how do you know if it's manipulating or if it's like if there should be a breakage point, like okay, you're manipulating me at this point. You follow me? Because I mean, sometimes they can twist a story around, right, and feel like it's being manipulating.
I would highly recommend in a situation like that, if you're in a relationship where you feel that way, you might want to go on YouTube and look at some videos that talk about narcissistic people. Because, you know, if they're narcissistic, run. Because they're always going to manipulate everything. And this is not a relationship you want to be in.
What is the best thing to do in a narcissistic relationship?
Be grateful.
Well,
Thank you and run.
And run. That's the best thing you can do. So if you're with a narcissistic person, run, absolutely. Now, is manipulation still equal to somebody being narcissistic?
Well, I do think that, Shawn, that there are levels of manipulation. You know, if your girl's trying to get you to take the trash out and she flashes her boobs and says, will you take the trash out? And you're like,
that's encouragement.
That is encouragement. It could be considered manipulation.
I'm getting on it right now.
It could be considered manipulation. I'm okay with that kind of manipulation. You know, you really have to look at, everyone has an agenda. You have an agenda. On this podcast, there's an agenda. We know that there's an agenda, and we're talking about, you know, the polarity of relationships and the masculine and the feminine. You have an agenda. You want to help people, you know, on the world out there. I have an agenda. I want people to have long-term loving relationships that last.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for part 3. We're going to get deep into this. Our 10 minutes is coming up, and we're going to do this in 10-minute increments. Please leave your comments. Please like, subscribe. Please ask Kevin any questions. His information will be in a bio. Stay tuned for the next part.
All right.